Good morning. There's still a few seats in the tent. If you want a seat in the tent, do not be bashful. We know that there are not enough seats, and we are thankful for the crowd that has joined us this morning. My name is Ron Dorsey, and I am proud to serve, thank you. I'm proud to serve as the chair of the board for Benjamin Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology, and this is an incredible day to be here this morning. Thank you for joining us on what is really a special day for the college, our students, our faculty, our staff, and Nubian Square. While I have a quick second, if there are faculty, staff, I would love it if there are students, current board members and past board members. Can you just stand real quickly so that we can acknowledge you and say thank you? You could have stood up too, Dr. Francis. I realize you're going to be standing in a minute, but you could have stood up. So the new building that we celebrate today is central to our work to advance what we call our future forward vision. And to do so in a way that transforms people's lives, drives the economy, and better guarantees equitable prosperity in this neighborhood and this region. The new FC Tech headquarters that will rise here will educate generations of entrepreneurs, technicians, and technologists who will shape Greater Boston's economy going forward. As a talent accelerator based right here in Nubian Square, FC Tech will continue to produce future-ready, skilled, qualified, and diverse workers that companies, industries, and our communities will rely on to thrive. I'd like to recognize some of the people joining us today without whom we could not have gotten here. First, I want to thank our allies from the Commonwealth, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, Commissioner of Higher Education, Nori Ortega, Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Rebecca Tepper, Undersecretary of Apprenticeship, Work-Based Learning, and Policy, Josh Cutter, Mass Development CEO, Dan Rivera. And Dan, it feels like it wasn't too long ago when we were standing on this site with your help, getting ready to remediate and do demolition, and now we can see how this building is going to sit in the square, so thanks for kicking us off. State Senator Nick Collins and State Representative John Moran. I'd also like to recognize our allies from the city of Boston. And first of all, Mayor Wu, thank you for dialing up this wonderful weather today. We know that is within your power, and many things have been to get here. Boston City Council President Rusi Lujan. And my apologies, I did forget to mention one of our allies at the state, Senator Liz Miranda. Boston City Councilors Tanya Fernandez Anderson, Ed Flynn, Julia Mejia, Enrique Pepin, and Henry Santana. Thank you all for your allyship. It has been a journey, and we could not have gotten here without you, and we are looking forward to your partnership going forward. Before we get started with the rest of the ceremony, we must recognize that the land that we are standing on and building on was once inhabited by indigenous people. I would like to invite to the podium Franklin Cummings Tech professor and First Nation Mi'kmaq member Leslie Tupin, who will lead us in our land acknowledgement. Leslie, thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Well, Alan, at this time, we would like to take a moment to recognize this land and its original inhabitants. We acknowledge that this land where the sun rises is the land of the people of the first light. This land, now currently known as Boston, Massachusetts. Tribal communities have occupied and existed in this site and region for thousands of years. Today, we wish to acknowledge and recognize these tribes. They include the Massachusetts, the Wampanoag, and the Nipmuc, as well as many others that have migrated and inhabited this area. Walalan aho.
Thank you, Leslie. I'd like to thank some of our primary supporters and partners who've made today and the exciting future for Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology possible with their generous support. The Barr Foundation, the Hamilton Company Charitable Foundation, the Klarman Family Foundation, Liberty Mutual Foundation, the Lynch Foundation, the Cummings Foundation, and many other generous donors. Can we give a round of applause for those supporters? I'd also like to thank our public sector partners who are helping to transform the college in Nubian Square by supporting the project. Thank you again to the City of Boston, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mass Development, and the Mass Life Science Center. And to all of our financing partners who've helped us with an innovative financing solution that allowed us to move ahead. I cannot wait for the book to be written on this one. There is a lot to tell, including a lot of stories about civic innovation. So there is a lot of credit to be taken and hopefully a blueprint for future growth and prosperity in Nubian and beyond. And so now, because the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Healy Driscoll administration have been such great partners with FC Tech in education and workforce development, I have the honor of introducing our first speaker, one of my favorite leaders and a friend, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll.
Thank you so much, Ron. And thank you for the land acknowledgement. I think that's really important to ensure that we're thinking about our history, especially when we're talking about this institution. Ties to our history. I mean, if Ben Franklin could see us now, I think he'd be very impressed with the investment that he made in this Commonwealth, in this community, and in the future of Massachusetts. And while I joke about that, when we think about Ben Franklin, obviously, we think about him as a printer, somebody who started as an apprentice, became a journeyman, and then a master, for those of us who are in the trades. We know what those terms mean. He was certainly an ambassador and an author. He was curious, but he was an innovator for his time, and there's nothing better than being here this morning, and the sun is shining, looking at a space that is going to continue that tradition. I feel so fortunate to be in this role. Governor Healy and I are really trying to focus on leading this Commonwealth in a way that gives us the responsibility of shifting policies and shaping resources and moving Massachusetts forward. And the key part of that job is really empowering the good work that's happening to continue, making sure we're not leaving anybody behind when we do that. When I think about this institution, who you serve, how you serve, the amazing team Aisha has built here to ensure that it is high quality, the educational outcomes, so critical to the future of Massachusetts. So it's great to be here to celebrate. And as I look around the room and see the number of folks who are here across government sectors, the mayor leading a great city, doing important work to not just think about today, but setting a vision for tomorrow. We know we need partners in that area. And this is a key facility that's going to help not only this community, this neighborhood, this city, but our Commonwealth, make sure we're prepared for the future. We just filed this economic development bill that is making key investments in areas that will grow an innovation pipeline that already exists here, where we have a foothold, but making sure over the next decade plus, we're going to have good paying jobs, being able to help people put a roof over their head and food on their table. That only happens if we have the workforce to meet that demand. So critical to our success as a Commonwealth is ensuring that people have the skills that they need to be able to support themselves in a highly based innovative economy that Massachusetts offers. That doesn't happen unless institutions like this grow, thrive, that we collectively as a community, inside this tent and outside this tent, support opportunities that this place produces. So thrilled to be here. So happy that this has finally come together. I know it's been a journey. We're spending some time talking about that early, but it's also a testament to when you have something good, we all want to join hands and make sure we're empowering and uplifting that work. So congratulations, not only for this new building, but for all that's going to come as a result of it. We're proud to be a partner and we'll continue to support and uphold these efforts. Thank you.
Get ready to stand, Dr. Francis. So many of you know Dr. Aisha Francis, and if you know her, she often likes to say, we will either find a way or we will make a way. And she has made a way for us to be here today. As I think about the current generation of leadership in higher education and education in the region, I think she has quickly risen to the Mount Rushmore of leaders in higher education here, and she is certainly one of my favorite leaders, and I'm proud to serve with her on this board. She's assembled an incredible team of experts. She's led an incredible team of educators and students over a long journey to get here, but she's been relentless, indefatigable in that her sights set on the vision. No hurdle has really been too high for her. If there wasn't a way, she made a way. So no matter what the circumstances have been, you stayed the course and almost by sheer force of will, kept us on track and moving forward because you could already see this day. And we are grateful for that. We often joke together that you had not imagined becoming a developer. With all of the responsibilities that you have, but you've become as expert in that as you have at running the college. And so we're proud to be the state's only career technical college, a minority serving institution, serving predominantly students of color from low-income backgrounds to whom who will be catapulted to a new future because, first of all, they were talented and worthy to begin with, but you are creating a platform for their ascension. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our esteemed president, Dr. Aisha Francis.
Thank you. It is so beautiful to see this crowd. Thank you so much, Ron. There are still a few seats, so fill up for my event days. No empty seats. Come on, have a seat. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, for being with us. The Healy-Driscoll administration has been so supportive of this vision, our future forward vision, in so many ways, and facilitated MassWorks, Brownfield remediation grant, Mass Life Science Center grant for equipment in our life science program, which is going to be across the street at Nubian Ascends. That's the next groundbreaking. It's been a long time coming, but we're so happy to be here. So now's the time for a bit of audience participation. Are you all ready? Okay. If you are a trustee or a former trustee, raise your hand. Good, thank you, thank you. So it's our spring break on campus, so there would have been a lot more people in these categories. I'm going to call them out anyway. Faculty, staff, students. Faculty, staff, students. Thank you all for being here. We brought a whole van over from the campus. Roxbury neighbors. Roxbury neighbors. I know we have lots of those. Community partners from all over the region. That should be everybody. Thank you for feeling connected enough to our cause to be here on this beautiful day, almost spring, not quite. Together, we are delivering on our mission to offer transformative technical and trade education that leads to economic advancement, and we ought to feel good about that. We are celebrating because of vision casting that predated my time at the college. I've been here 5.5 years. And prior to me, our prior president, Tony Benoit, is here with us. But prior to my time, there was a vision that was laid out for this moment, and it took doggedness, persistence, and dedication to get here. But here we are. We are breaking ground on the Nubian Square campus of Franklin Cummings Tech. We're here in Roxbury, where more than 15% of our students reside. We are exactly where we should be. And I'd like to share this little known fact that in the 1890s, when the city of Boston was considering where to build what is now the Franklin Union Building in the South End, Roxbury was among the considerations. However, it was passed over because it was considered too far away from the center of gravity and from the physical activity, from the heart of the city. But no more. We are the center of Boston, geographically, culturally, educationally. And from this perch, we will continue to invest in 21st century education and learning. We are so proud to be doing that in this neighborhood by choice and on purpose. This new campus is a symbol of unity and project-based learning. Our students will have guided access to the site because we teach the kinds of trades that are going into this construction project. The building itself will be a teaching tool for energy efficiency and clean tech. We're practicing what we preach and teach. We are building a LEED Gold certified building. This campus will support the economic resilience of our students as well as environmental resilience by incorporating green building practices. And the project management on this construction that has already started is being done by a Franklin Cummings Tech alum, Harry Rivera. Harry, are you here? Where are you? He's here somewhere. I know he's here. He's there in the back. Okay, wait. He's in the back. But Harry, who is working with Delbrook, is the project manager on this site. This is what we're about. This is why we're investing. The investment itself in the project is about recycling dollars where we can. Delbrook One Way is a joint venture between Delbrook and One Way, which is a Roxbury-based Latino-owned company. We're very proud of that. The refreshments that you received today are from Nubian Markets. We are being very intentional every step of the way. And we invite you to spread the good word about what's happening here. When people ask you, there are 200, almost 300 people RSVP'd to be here today. So when folks ask you what's happening here at the corner of Melnea Cass and Harrison Avenue, tell them the good news. Spread the good word. Tell them that what's being built here is an unparalleled educational resource for Boston and beyond. And when residents of Roxbury and the 22 other neighborhoods in Boston and gateway cities and other towns, all of the folks who live in this area, but all of the people who work with us, our faculty, our staff, our students come from all over the place. But we are grounded in Nubian Square, and for us, this is a source of pride. We are able to make more than a $40 million investment here because people have believed in us and our mission and what we are doing. And they understand that those investments will have a wonderful return on civic capital. As our board chairman thanked the many, many partners who have helped make this happen, I also must recognize that one of our lead partners is the City of Boston. And here we are in Women's History Month. We have the nation's only governor, lieutenant governor, female-led team. I want to thank our kind of real estate guru and consigliere, Marty Jones, wherever you are, Marty, thank you. Our architect of record is Studio G, which was founded by Gail Sullivan, also a woman-owned firm. I know is represented today. And we have several women-owned firms subcontracting on this project, like KB Mack, one of the many, many union partners who's working with us. Labor is well represented on this project. And now I have the honor of turning the podium to our mayor, a visionary, powerful Michelle Wu, whose leadership has included the declaration of Boston as a Green New Deal city. I also want to thank you personally, Mayor Wu, for the way that you have leaned into this project. Your team, Chief Arthur Jemison, Mike Firestone, and others have been walking with us for the past 2 years as we've really had to be creative about how to make this happen. And I just want to make sure that everyone here understands how important it is that leadership matters, and that Mayor Wu and her team have really helped us get here today, and without you, it would not have happened. I also want to share that this special partnership didn't grow up out of anywhere, or nowhere rather, that since 1790, the city of Boston has been inextricably linked to this college and to this campus. So much so that, little known fact, the mayor is a board member of our college, always a board member of our college. So I would love to bring up and introduce Mayor Wu and our trustee, Michelle Wu. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. It is a thrilling event to be at with all of you. Thank you so much, Dr. Francis, for your incredible leadership, to Ron and all of the members of the Board of Trustees. I'm just so thrilled to finally see us at this day, and we'll echo the words of the Lieutenant Governor and I'm sure many of the other speakers in recognizing the foundational importance of this institution to our city's history, but especially to our city's future. It is a beautiful day, beautiful sunny weather, and I have realized that I can only affect the weather when I've already called a snow day to make the nor'easters disappear. But I'll take today as well. But on that note, we are living in a time where the world is changing faster than ever before, it feels. It's the world around us, the climate, the unpredictability of what might come, the storms and the seas that we are dealing with, and it's the change in our economy, how quickly new ways of getting information and working and where you live and where you work and all of that, our ability to adapt to it, and not just adapt, but truly thrive for all of us in Boston, for all of our residents, each and every community. I see I am hearing Councilor Mejia in my head. All means all. That rests on our ability to grow and lift up the workforce that's needed to make sure that the buildings that we are building up are actually resilient and energy efficient and healthy for our residents, to make sure that the systems that we're operating in, everything from cars to the most basic technology that most people take for granted, that takes workforce and talent that we can't rely on being outsourced away. And those jobs that benefit the prosperity should come right in the heart of the city, right here in Roxbury and in our community and in the city of Boston. And so what we're talking about today is really building the village that we need into the future in each and every way that we need to adapt to our world. I want to thank and recognize the Boston City Councilors. I know you'll hear from Council President in a little bit, for their steadfast leadership and commitment, not just to this institution, but workforce development and making sure that we are putting our money where our mouth is as a city in general. I'll shout out another former mayor. In addition to the LG, we have former Mayor Dan Rivera here as well from Mass Development, who's been a friend for a very long time. Maybe a less known fact, but the very first city to adopt free public transportation under his leadership. and someone who's always been a visionary and making sure that the benefits and the resources stay exactly where they need to be. It is it's absolutely fitting and exactly what we need for our future that the brand new state-of-the-art campus for the Benjamin Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology will be at home in this neighborhood. It's long been a priority of the City of Boston and certainly of our administration and our partners to not just preserve the community and residents who live in this area, the businesses that give Boston its life, but to grow, support, and ensure that we're investing in sustainability. Today's groundbreaking is central to that vision because Franklin Cummings Tech is the embodiment of a mission to accelerate economic opportunity and generate wealth right here in Nubian Square and with our families by expanding horizons for the many, many students who are breaking barriers within their own families. Students of color, first-generation students, our future leaders, and the talent that we rely on. This city is so proud to have had the opportunity to work very closely with President Francis and the board and the leadership team at Franklin Cummings. I want to especially acknowledge some of our team members who are here today who have made sure that we could be as involved as possible. Our Chief of Worker Empowerment, Trin Nguyen, who also serves on the board as our designee. Where Trin is, she's here somewhere. And as mentioned, BPDA and Planning Chief Arthur Jemison is in the house. Arthur and his team made sure that we could make the numbers work and participate on that front. And I know they brought so much creativity to an unwavering sense that we were going to join you in making that way. Our Chief of Policy, Mike Firestone, our Senior Advisor on Partnerships, Stephen Chan, our CFO, Ashley Grofenberger. Thank you for giving us the height to clear the countless hurdles that rose up and to get us to this point. Okay, we've already talked enough about Benjamin Franklin, I think. I'm going to skip over that part, although we love our legacy. I'll focus a little bit more about the building itself. So the 68,000 square feet, sustainable plumbing, HVAC and electrical, completely energy efficient, and thanks to the generous support of the Liberty Mutual Foundation, Melissa McDonald, and the entire team, as mentioned, it will be equipped with the tools and resources to teach students important lessons in environmental stewardship, rooftop labs powered by solar panels and wind turbines, so that the young people who pass through this school's door will know how to harness the Earth's natural energy in order to help us conserve and protect it for generations to come. I want to give a shout out to someone who's here, I think, in multiple hats as well, our Chief of Energy, Environment, and Open Space, Reverend Mariama Whitehammond. It is thanks to her leadership that the City of Boston is launching our first ever networked geothermal partnership and pilot program, and that in many communities around Boston, we are closing gaps that have existed for far too long and focusing and prioritizing environmental justice. And this will be one more big monument to that progress. Thank you again to all of those who are working on this project to demonstrate what's possible when we come together for the good of our communities, for our young people and families, and to focus on the future. This month, we celebrate not only how far we've come, but how far we still have to go on those efforts. And today's groundbreaking reaffirms our city's commitment to being at the forefront of opening doors, breaking down barriers, and ensuring that we will be the greenest, the most family-friendly city in the country, because we are focused on making sure we are the model for the rest of the nation. So I am thrilled to pass the mic on to someone who is a trailblazer, an innovator, and making a difference every single day, leading the Boston City Council, Madam President Ruthie Lujan.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not going to bore y'all because I know a lot of people have spoken, so I'm just going to try to keep it short and sweet. Dr. Francis, congratulations. I am so happy to be here, to be seeing you not at the supermarket, but here at, late nights, so I call you at the supermarket. So this is beautiful. And oftentimes, I'm an at-large city councilor, so around the city, and you're at the right place when all the right people are here. All the nonprofit leaders, business leaders, folks centered in the work of government activists, all investing and showing up in this institution. And the mayor talked about, I'm not going to belabor the point of Benjamin Franklin, but from Benjamin Franklin to Dr. Francis. And I think that's beautiful, right? That you are carrying on the legacy of what this was meant to be, for us to have workmen and women helping to build this city, of not women first, but right now that we are doing that. You know, I spent some time this morning on the website just reading the student testimonials, right? Because that's what this is all about. It's about the students and about making sure that we are doing everything we can for them to enter a workplace and be able to make good living wages where they can sustain their families. And there was one story that struck me of a young student by the name of Michael who talked about how this has been transformative for him and his family, for his girlfriend and his 2 children, and how he walked out of here able to make a really, really good life for himself and his family. And so that's what we're about. And, you know, I was rushing in here and I saw Richard Taylor. Whenever I see him, was like, remember, it's all about Roxbury. So I think you are making that clear. And I know that my colleagues are. I don't know if we've, but I saw Councilor Fernandez Anderson, obviously, the heart of Roxbury here, Councilor Santana, Councilor Pepin, Councilor Mejia. This is what we care about on the council. How are we doing the work of equity, correcting for past harms, the way that we've ignored Black and brown communities, the way that we've ignored them from getting good paying jobs in the trades, right? We have folks who are coming and walking out of here who maybe don't come from a long line. They can't say my granddaddy was X or Y, Z, but maybe their children can. And so these sorts of investments here in the future of our city is critically important, and it requires us to be all hands on deck. So you have my commitment. I know you have the commitment of my colleagues on the Boston City Council. I know you have State Senator and State Rep Moran. All of us here committed to doing the work, following your lead, and that's what we promised to do. I'm so happy to be here for the groundbreaking, and thank you for your leadership. I think this also shows what representation looks like, right? We have a Black woman leading this place, and the transformation that we're going to see is because of your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you. You heard a lot about what we've been given and the investments, and I just want you to know that, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. And so it's a time of great expectation. I will also want to invite to the podium here Dan Rivera, the head of Mass Development, and after Dan, you will hear from Liberty Mutual Foundation President Melissa McDonald.
I thought, you know, I'll take my jacket off. It won't be that long. I won't be that cold. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. You know, I don't think anybody can come up here and not get away without shining the light on Dr. Francis, as the council president just did, right? To come into a new position in the middle of COVID, to run COVID and then post-COVID transition in higher education, and then, as the chair said, you know, get into real estate transactions and the like in the middle of all the financial ups and downs of the market. I think it's just an amazing show of leadership, and I think we should start using what the president said, from Ben Franklin to Dr. Francis. You know, I think it's great. So on behalf of Economic Development Secretary Yvonne Howe, who serves as our board chair for Mass Development, it's a pleasure to be here alongside Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Mayor Wu, and so many other partners. I always say it's a good day to always say thank you to legislators, so a round of applause for our legislators who are here. You know, the governor and lieutenant governor have this hard job. They have to deal with the housing crisis, the transportation crisis. Like, every crisis lands on their desk, but if not for the support of really goodwill men and women in the legislature, I think really little would get done, so thank you all for that. For those of you who don't know, Mass Development is the Commonwealth's Development Finance Agency and Land Bank, and we are also one of the founding members of the Massachusetts Community Climate Bank, the nation's first green bank dedicated to affordable housing. And here in Boston's Nubian Square, we were proud to provide a $650,000 award from the Commonwealth's Brownfields Development Fund, which we manage. That award helped the institution prepare this site for the school's new campus. This includes assessing, remediation, environmental work, all the kind of stuff that laid the groundwork for the beginning of building a structure on this property. We actually joined back in April 2022, Dr. Francis and her team, with demolition style hats and sledgehammers to kind of kick it off. And my wife told me not to bring the sledgehammer home, so she's afraid of what I might do. So anyhow, I think, again, that type of work that we do with this type of dollars are so impactful. It's great to celebrate here today. It's what we're calling a three-fer. Y'all have heard two-fers? It's a three-fer. This is demolishing a blighted property that was once here, constructing a cornerstone institution for Nubian Square, and creating a state-of-the-art campus for students. Nothing says we care about a community like dealing with its blighted property by knocking it down. Because it was, I think, almost a decade that had been a blighted property. Investing in its real estate by bringing something here from another community that otherwise would not have come. And investing in students, in the place where students make their day, and bringing a shining example of a school and a place where they see their futures happening. So that's a three-fer. And this is a tremendous example of how the Brownfields Redevelopment Fund worked. It's really early money. And thanks again to Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll in filing their Mass Leads Act. The administration put together with the support of and work of the leadership of Secretary Howe and her staff for economic development. They put another $30 million into the Brownfields Fund to fund projects just like this in communities just like this. Round of applause for them and their leadership. Again, this is the type of things we do, and as we see Nubian Square become the neighborhood of the future from Dudley Square, I guess got to think that the partnership, the Commonwealth Mass Development is prepared to be there for you every step of the way. I can't get down from here without taking a shout out to the staff of Mass Development is here. Raise your hand, Mass Development staff. I don't just do that because it's like a good thing to do, but it's also those are the people that really have the control on the money. So if you're looking for some of that stuff, you got to go to them. So again, congratulations to the Franklin Cummings Tech Institute and Dr. Francis for all the work you do. We're here to help you along the way. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Francis, for gathering us at this groundbreaking and for inviting Liberty Mutual to be in such esteemed company. Thank you, too, for your phenomenal leadership, as everyone has said, for bringing new energy to this important organization, for infusing an entrepreneurial spirit, launching new partnerships, and moving with urgency. An urgency our future workforce needs and deserves. It's an honor to share the stage with the Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Wu, Council President Louise Young, and all my fellow speakers. What a privilege to represent Liberty Mutual and to represent a partnership that has brought us deep pride for decades, dating back to the early 2000s with the opening of the Liberty Mutual Alternative Fuel Labs. And I see Tony, I saw Michael Taylor earlier. And just to today with this transformational opportunity here at the Nubian Square campus. As we join you today, we think of the young people who will develop hands-on skills that will anchor our new economy, the flourishing community that will become an educational and cultural epicenter of Boston, and the future generations who will prosper from the opportunities afforded by this new campus. We think of the students who will take classes on the rooftop at the Liberty Clean Tech Lab, a space that literally, as someone else said, makes the building itself a teaching tool, with training in HVAC, renewable energy, plumbing, wind tunnels, and solar electrical panels. We think of the thousands upon thousands of young people who will be positioned not just for living wages, but for thriving wages. We think, oh yeah. And we think of the students who will stand atop that roof looking out at this beautiful city, knowing that they are equipped and positioned to reach for the stars. And we are reminded that blueprints can fulfill big dreams when inclusive and bold leaders are in place. So on behalf of all of my colleagues at Liberty Mutual, I thank you so much for the opportunity to play a small part in making big dreams possible.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Melissa and I go back to 2007 when we were doing a service learning trip together for Habitat for Humanity. Yeah, rebuilding New Orleans. I want to also welcome to the table, to the podium, Michelle Volpe, who represents PCI. You've heard a little bit about the financing that we took on to get to this point. And it's been really creative, and we're really, really grateful for the multiple partners, CDFIs and others who have pulled together to make it possible for us to get out of the ground. So Michelle, could you come up and share? Thank you.
What a joy it is to be here with all of you in Nubian Square this morning, celebrating the home of this new school. I am Michelle Volpe, the president of the Property and Casualty Initiative, known as PCI. PCI is an $85 million social impact fund created 25 years ago by the Massachusetts legislature and 14 Massachusetts property and casualty insurance companies to invest in projects exactly like this one. Over our 25-year history, we've invested more than $500 million in 250 such projects. Several of PCI's lead investors, Liberty Mutual, Arbella Insurance Group, and Plymouth Rock, also support this institution directly with their time, talent, and philanthropy, underscoring the close alignment between PCI, our investor companies, and this work. I am a ferocious champion of this school and its leadership. The school's leadership, its vision for its students, its plan to be an anchor institution in Nubian Square embodies our mission at PCI. We prioritize investments that connect individuals to education and quality jobs. We partner with borrowers that remove barriers to opportunity for historically marginalized people. And we target investments in institutions that are led by people of color, located in communities of color, and are working to ensure that economic prosperity is shared. PCI's relationship with Franklin Cummings Tech is very simple. We say yes, and perhaps more importantly, how can we help? Every time the incomparable Marty Jones calls to discuss a new twist in this elegant puzzle of a real estate transaction. At PCI, we believe one of our most important roles is to fill financing gaps and to partner in problem solving with the organizations that are doing the hard work every day of creating opportunities for those who are too often left behind. PCI assembled a group of 7 remarkable lending institutions to provide $38.5 million in construction financing to help the school realize its state-of-the-art, purpose-built campus. Sarah Kitterman, my colleague and partner at PCI, leads this lending team, providing calm, effective, expert leadership to our consortium. Our partners, the Life Initiative, Massachusetts Housing Investment Corporation, the Nonprofit Finance Fund, Low Income Investment Fund, Cambridge Savings Bank, and Eastern Bank. Each of these partners have matched PCI's commitment to the school and brought their own flexibility, creativity, intelligence, and capital. I want to acknowledge our indispensable legal teams at Nolan, Sheehan Patton, and Sharon and Lodgen, who are powering us to closing. The school has also secured $1.5 million in low-cost flexible debt from the Boston Foundation and Children's Hospital Foundation, as well as $10 million in equity generated through the federal New Market Tax Credit Program. Brendan Beer at Shaw Capital Advisors helped the school secure these scarce tax credit allocations and investments from Blue Hub Capital, headquartered here in Nubian Square, Partners for Common Good, Consortium America, Grow America, and JP Morgan Chase. The campus that all this capital has been aggregated to build will be an extraordinary state-of-the-art facility. And this move is about so much more than a new building. Franklin Cummings Tech is embracing this neighborhood, is signaling to BIPOC students in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and across the city that this school is for you, that these are your opportunities to build skills, learn, and pursue your dreams. I could not be prouder to stand here today representing PCI and the rest of the lenders to this school, supporting your next chapter. Thank you.
To finish out the morning, first I want to thank my wife for making this scarf. This was right on time. She is supremely talented. Family and friends, this does conclude the program, but we could not have had a better crowd of folks to celebrate this milestone with, so give yourselves a hand. As you can see, there are a few tasks ahead of us on this site, but I'm hoping that we can officially declare that right now we are Nubian Square and Roxbury residents. Nubian Square and Roxbury residents, Nubian Square also affectionately and purposefully known as Boston's Education Innovation District. We are proud to join that partnership from cradle to career in Nubian Square that makes this a special place in school and out of school. So thank you to all of you for that. If I could ask the speakers and some of our special supporters to join us to my right at the shovel so that we can mark this occasion with an actual groundbreaking. Thank you so much for this morning. We are looking forward to your partnership going forward.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.